Hey guys, what's going on? More of it's JK here, and welcome to the second episode of the F1 2020 by Team Career Mode. So then guys, as you can see, in this episode we'll be going through the facilities and basically what that is. So activities, they can give you cash, but they can also boost your morale. They can boost your department morale, make them work better, but it could cost money. Facilities help the car improve, so you improve your facilities, you improve your car. R&D is the parts of the car that you can improve, and then there's obviously corporate, which is sponsors and stuff like that, and then you can also put sponsors on your car, which I don't know how to do yet, but you know what, we'll figure it out eventually. So to start this episode, we're just going to do a bit of menu stuff, i.e. putting some upgrades on the car to improve it, just looking at what could improve the car the most right now. Because overall, we're still like the 4th worst car on the grid. No, actually, the 3rd worst car on the grid. I think only the Williams and the Haas are slower. And I think that the Alfa Romeos are just ahead along with Alfa Tauri. Which is weird to see them this slow, considering real life things with Pierre Gasly. But yeah. We are going to complete this upgrade. By the way, guys, we have not had an upgrade that has failed, I don't think, yet. But yeah, it has been a very, very good time so far in the career mode. Obviously, we've only had one episode, but last episode wasn't amazing. It was a good start. Qualifying P14, which was brilliant. Unfortunately, though, we could not go for anything higher, and we ended up finishing P16 after a crash early on in the race. But this race I decided, you know what, instead of being a bot from the start, let's just relax and let's just push nicely, carefully. Let's just not go gun-ho into the first corner or into the first few corners going for moves. Let's think smart. Because what I struggle with in this game is keeping up with people, catching up with people, and overtaking. But when it comes to catching up, like, I've got to think, I'm not in a car that's good, that can challenge. The chances are, if I'm coming up against a racing point, I'm going to get creamed. I'm not going to be able to catch up with them, even with DRS, and my DRS isn't even that powerful. So I've just got to step back and think, you know, if we can just keep on the back end with them, eventually we will be able to get a dive bomb of sorts, which is the easiest way to overtake for me in this game. Very risky. High risk but high rewards as well, and I do use a lot of flashbacks quite often. And I use flashbacks because why not? It just makes it, instead of me just crashing and ending up P20 every 5 seconds, I want to use the odd flashback. I want to use like a flashback. I could have a limit. I could have like, oh yeah, every flashback I do a shot of tomato ketchup or something at the end of the episode. But if I were to do that next episode, guys, I've already recorded next episode, I would genuinely be downing about 14 glasses worth of ketchup, which is not amazing. But yeah, as you can see so far, 0 points on the board for me and Mick Schumacher, who did retire from the last race. Haven't really seen much of him, because I'm more of that middle, bottom kind of driver. But yeah, we now have the Dutch Grand Prix. I've never drove on this circuit before, and I was going to skip the Q3, but I accidentally skipped all the sessions, so therefore we go straight into one-shot qualifying. Not even an outlap. We're just going to get chucked straight in here, because all I can do is qualifying. And, yeah, I was expecting P20, P22 here. So, yeah, but at this point, guys, my AI is on 35%. But after the qualifying in next episode, I have pumped it up to 40% now. But it's still quite easy. In races, cars still pull away. Unless, like, I will have a bit of a record episode, guys, where it's basically just footage. And basically, you just get to see me with Sebastian Vettel at Italy. I pull away. And then every single lap, I set a faster lap. And I get the fastest lap by, like, 2 seconds in clean air without even having DRS on anyone. So, yeah, here we go, qualifying, currently in P1, now P7, P8, P4, P3, P4, P10, P11, P9, P8, P11, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 9. And it's a big crash yeah. You could kind of expect that, guys, because it's me. So, yeah, at this point, I was going to give up. But I decided, let's do a flashback. Because I didn't actually know you could flashback here. I was just going to restart. But I decided, you know what? Let's go for it, you know. Because, you know, I think I could do better. But, yeah, this time we go a bit, we don't go as deep into this corner. Therefore, we don't get on the curb. And we are now P10, P9. P14, which is where I qualified last episode. Dodgy corner, which puts us P16, but we're back to P14 with the exit. P10, P9, P10, P11, P10, P9, P6. Going around this corner now, it's a slow corner, and we've even made contact with the wall, P10, P11, and we have a bit of front wing damage. However, P10, P12, bringing it back to P10 now, and with that tight exit, we get DRS open, we're into P9, but surely we're going to drop down, surely not, we've qualified P9. Holy Jesus, we've qualified P9 and P14 so far, and you know what, I am very happy with that, because that was a really, really tough qualifying, but yeah, Bottas, Verstappen, Hamilton, Albon, Leclerc, Perez, Vettel, Stroll, myself, Sainz, Norris, Ocon, Gasly, Ricciardo, Kvyat, Magnussen, Grosjean, Giovinazzi, and my teammates in like P20. Like, I want to make a big signing at the end of this season. I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe I love Sebastian Vettel in real life, so I'm thinking maybe Sebastian Vettel. Or maybe we wait to Season 3 for that, but he can retire in Season 2. Or maybe we go with someone a bit smaller, like a Lando Norris, for example. But if I want to attract a driver like that, I want to keep making the car quicker. I want to make the car competitive in the midfield. And therefore, Lando Norris might join us, but he would just join us if we paid him enough. Maybe we can get that car into, well, this season, my aim is to just get some top 10s. I want to get about 30 points on the board this season. At most, I'm aiming for 30 points. I don't think we'll get any higher. But yeah, guys, next season we will be aiming for top 3. So is Lando Norris the guy to do that for me? In my opinion, if we kept Mick Schumacher on, I don't think he'd do pretty well. I think he might be able to get like a couple of top 15s next season in the car. But I feel like I am Mr. Saturday, because you will see in the next few episodes, my qualifying is amazing, but in the race, like, when I started in P3 at Italy, in the video that's coming up with Seb, I pulled away, got out, pulled away, because the car was that good. But in comparison, I was driving up against Mercedes and Red Bulls, and it just wasn't doing anything. I couldn't get anything right, and I was trying to push to keep ahead of everyone, because I didn't want to have that much of a loss. But now we're moving into the race weekend, and you know what? I'm very excited indeed, as we will be starting in P9. Of course, I know how the race will end. But you guys won't yet. And let me just tell you guys, it's a world-class drive. Like, I have a safe drive. I do pick up a bit of wing damage, and I do try and undercut. It doesn't work exactly, but I'll just tell you that I don't gain any places or lose any places from when I pitted. Until I make a couple of mistakes. Like, I do use a couple of flashbacks, but I just let 2 mistakes slip. One lets the car past, and the other one lets the car close up for the later stages. But yeah, here we go, into the race. Let's see how we do. If I simulated, by the way, I'd probably end up like P15, because, you know, my car is not that good. My car is probably one of the worst on the grid. So yeah, let's get into this race weekend, because, you know, I'm very excited for this, because this is going to be my first decent start of the season. If we can pull off a P10, for example, like, even if we fall back a few places at the start, even after the pit stops, if we're like still in the points, I will be very happy. I don't think I overtake anyone in this race. I just feel like I just hold on, because I pull away from the cars behind me, but I get pulled away from the guys in front of me, which I don't know how that works, but yeah, I know I just spend quite a lot of time by myself, whether it be because of a mistake or just because I am running by myself. I've got no one near me, but eventually, because I'm driving by myself, I don't pay attention, I make mistakes, car catches up from behind me, And there we go. That's what makes an exciting end to my races. But yeah, Valtteri, Verstappen, Lewis, Albon, Leclerc, Perez, Sebastian, Stroll, myself, Carlos Sainz, and who cares? That was basically what I was thinking. And I was so eager to get into this race, I didn't even look at my strategy, so I don't even know when I'm meant to be coming in. But, here we go. Lights out and away we go, and it is a very decent start. We are past Sebastian Vettel, we are past Perez, we are past Charles Leclerc, and we're catching up to Alex Albon. We're going to try go around the outside of the Mercedes driver. A bit of understeer there, going around, and we've lost our place to Vettel and Perez. Trying to keep up here, and apparently we collided with Vettel, and I think that is Lance Stroll trying to come around my out. No, it's Carlos Sainz trying to come around my outside. But yeah, we're just trying to keep up with Sergio Perez. I don't feel like this is a racing point. The fact that I could even keep up with this car for as long as I could was really good. Like, the chances are I would not be able to overtake this car. It is a very good car. As you can see, it's fighting the Ferraris. Like, on a Saturday, I just have mental pace. Because I feel like the AI is shit at qualifying, but then when it comes to racing, I'm just not experienced enough, and my car isn't good enough in races because of overtaking and stuff, whereas in qualifying, it's just straight line speed and that. I just need to get better DRS systems and stuff. I just need a more powerful car, and we did think about it there on Perez and a bit of a love tap, but it's fine. Hopefully, I was hoping that Perez would go a bit wide, that's maybe we could get the switch back on him, but he did not do so, and unfortunately, we are unable to get the position on Sergio. By the way, guys, if you haven't seen the Turkish Grand Prix, you should. One of the best races I've ever watched. But here we go. Now trying to keep up with Sergio Perez here in slipstream, but we are not even gaining any time. Like, we even lose time towards the end of the straight. But he is within the slipstream of Sebastian Vettel, who's keeping up with Charles Leclerc. And here we go now, closing in on Sergio Perez. Can we eventually get a move? We are all over the back of Sergio here. Almost ran into the back of him, he was holding me up that much, but it's not the right place at the track to do it, and on the straights, we're not a quick enough car. I feel like in the corners, we're a very good car. Sometimes we do, I feel like our brakes and our, corners are really good, because sometimes I even brake too early, and it's that mad, because I feel like my brakes are really good, I feel like corners are really good, I just feel like it's the straights where we suffer, or any patch that is just a straight line. So like here, I probably wouldn't get overtaken because I know to take a certain line to cover off a driver. But here, even though I don't think you can get DRS in the straight, and if you can, I don't think it works that well. But, you know, I feel like I would probably get overtaken there. Even though I'd probably take a quite defensive line, it would probably end up with me getting taken out of the race. Or me going for a flashback. But yeah. Now moving into lap 3, and you know what? It's a personal best lap time. The best lap so far is a 1:17 from the race leader Max, and we get a 1:19.5. And DRS will now be enabled on the next lap. So maybe we can make a move on Sergio Perez. Maybe we can get it done. But yeah, we're just trying to keep up with him here. We are kind of pulling away from Carlos Sainz behind us, around about a second. And we are around a second behind Sergio Perez, but a bit of a wobble at the back end. But no time gained, no time lost there. And, yeah, the tyres aren't looking too bad, but they are the softs. Like, all season we're going to be running 25% races, so it will be in between 14 and 20 lap races. But, yeah, we're now here at the end of lap 3, and it is the speeded up version, which means nothing really is going to happen. As I said, I don't do much overtaking, and the overtaking I do is dive bombs on slower cars when they get me, and I want that position desperately. And also off the starts, I do get quite decent starts. But yeah, here we go. The time lapse has begun, and we're actually not doing too bad at this point. Sergio Perez still 1.7, 1.9. Like, he's gaining so much on me. No, he's not even near Sebastian. Like, Sebastian Vettel's way up the road from our fight. So I can't even say, oh yeah, he's getting DRS of Seb. It's just he's the superior car, so he's pulling away, whilst I'm pulling away from Sainz for some reason. No, he's kind of catching me up, and there we go. There's my first mistake. Going a bit too happy on the curb there. We get a bit spun, and yeah, we end up in the gravel. But yeah, we come back, and we don't make the same mistake twice. So that is the first flashback we've used in this race. We did use one in quali, obviously, but this is the first one of the race. I actually quite like this track. You know, it's got a lot of corners on it, and the car is really good when it comes to corners. But as you will see in Canada, like, you could say, oh yeah, this will probably be your best qualifying. A lot of corners, as you said. I don't like tracks with corners. I prefer straights. But maybe after seeing this, maybe a track like this is the track we need to be running to get good results. But as you will see next race, qualifying may have been a bit better for the Canadian Grand Prix. Maybe a little bit. Maybe a schmidget better. Like, not much, but maybe a bit. But that is a bit of a teaser. But yeah, we are now 2.3 seconds behind Sergio and 3.2 ahead of Carlos. As I said, I'm pulling away from the car behind me, but the car ahead of me pulling away. Unless Sergio makes a mistake, and I don't think he will, or unless he gets in a squabble with Sebastian, and in that case he can't because he's way too far up the road at this moment in time. And yeah, there we go. Damage. We've crashed into the wall, and we got a minor front wing damage, but it's not enough to call me into the pits yet. But yeah, we're now moving on to lap 7. Lap 7 of the Dutch Grand Prix, and there is our mistake. And that mistake leads us with Carlos Sainz all over our back. Sergio now almost 6 seconds ahead of us. And now we have Carlos Sainz on our back with warm tyres after going into the gravel. And we're making more mistakes as we go around here. So we might need to pit soon. I don't actually know if we'll get our front wing sorted out because it's only minor damage. And yeah, there we go. There's the call, box lap. But as I'm boxing, I go a little bit slow and Carlos Sainz basically taps me. So that is the second one, but that was not my fault. But this time we keep the accelerator down fully as we go for that box lap command. And we're just going to come in, get new tyres. We're going to get a new front wing. And as we're going into the pits, guys, make a note, we are currently 6/10 ahead of Carlos Sainz. And yeah, that's a perfect time to come in because that is when our strategy opens. And it is a 2.3 second stop from the boys, so it's a really nice stop. And yeah, we're off, we're driving, and I get thrown straight back into it because I don't actually realise, but we actually come out in P16. I thought I'd be like last place or something, but we're not. We're ahead of Raikkonen, we're ahead of Grosjean and Raikkonen, and yeah, that's another flashback we're going to use. So that's the third one, but the second one wasn't really my fault. But yeah, we are behind Magnussen and Kvyat and ahead of Grosjean and Raikkonen. I'm guessing Mick's about P18, P20. But as long as he don't DNF, I think I'll be happy. But yeah, talking about DNFs, none so far in this race. It's been a very, very calm race, touch wood, so far. But yeah, as you will see, more cars will start coming into the pits in the next couple of laps. Because pit window opened about was going to open about lap 10 for me. But yeah, really dodgy corners coming through here. Yeah, getting really dicey here going around some of these corners. But as you can see, we're just trying to keep the tyres nice and warm. We're trying to keep them really nice. But yeah, we are now closing up to the back of K-Mag and also Kvyat. And we do have a similar car to Haas. So we might actually be able to overtake the Haas car. But once again, we've hit that wall and the damage has got even worse. I don't think it'll be enough to make me pit again, because if I pit again, I'll be dead last. But it's just something to bear in mind. And as you can see, people are now coming into the pits. And we are now, crucially, ahead of Carlos Sainz again by 2.3 seconds. And therefore, we gain 2 seconds in our outlaps, which is very good. So maybe the undercut will work for me this season, but we are now back once again, but for lap 13. And as you can see, Carlos Sainz is only 2/10 behind me, and he's actually overtaken me there, because I think I made a mistake on the previous lap, and Carlos Sainz was able to catch up. He then overtakes me, and there we go. That's how it's done, and Carlos Sainz can now pull away from me. And now we have Lance Stroll, Daddy's Cash, all over our back, and we go wide. That one was just me being angry at myself, and then I had to flash back again. But we were able to keep it this time. Go a bit wide, and I flash back again. And I just want to get it good this time. So, yeah. Yeah. Just going to have to concede this position. But no, we get lucky, and the bounce off the wall actually means that we don't lose position. And we actually switch back Lance Stroll. With wing damage, we were able to switch back Lance Stroll. But he's now got us, unfortunately. But that's not great. And now we have Lando Norris all over our back. Piss off, Lando. No one even cares about your Twitch streams. But we've gone down the inside of Lance Stroll. What a move on the Canadian man. That's a banging move, you know. What a move on Lance Stroll. And with wing damage, we've actually made an overtake in this race. And I guess that was kind of an aggressive overtake because of the fact that we got overtaken and it wasn't looking great. But we've already pulled about a second away from, no, 2 seconds almost away from Ocon, Norris. And it looks like we've actually messed up Lance Stroll because he's no longer there. He must have been overtaken by Ocon. Ocon must have overtaken Norris and Stroll during that area. Because I'm just trying to look now, and yeah, Lance Stroll is there, but he's just a bit behind at the minute. But now we've got Ocon, Norris, and Stroll behind us. 3 cars that are definitely quicker than us and deserve to be in this P9 ahead of me. And will probably be duking out to get a chance to come for me. But yeah, still a second ahead now, moving in towards the final laps of the Grand Prix. So yeah, come on, lads. Let's keep pushing. Let's hold on. We can do this. We can do this. Honestly, I feel like we can really do this now. The belief's there. The desire's there. Look, still 1.3 seconds ahead of Esteban Ocon. No, that's 2 seconds ahead of Esteban Ocon. And yeah, you know what? We take it. Because now, moving on to the second to last lap, we've gone wide. And we flash back. Yeah, that's about 18 flashbacks this race, guys, but I don't really care. And they do want me to change strategy because of the front wing damage, but it's actually not messed us up too much. But yeah, we've lost a bit of time going too careful into that corner that we messed up on. And we are now only 1.6 seconds ahead of Esteban Ocon. When you guys say Esteban, when you're talking about an F1 driver, are you ever tempted to say Esteban Gutierrez? Because he used to be an F1 driver quite a while ago, but yeah. It's only a couple of years ago, but he's quite forgotten now. But yeah, just trying to have a good race in. It has been a really good race so far. We've only lost out to Carlos Sainz from the start of the race, and we're still 2.1 seconds ahead of Ocon. And as you can see, we are back to normal pace because it is the last lap of the Grand Prix. So, we go right here, a bit offline. Now coming through this corner, that's actually a nice take at that corner, but we are a bit slow through there. And now coming around this corner, again a bit slow, but the other cars are just as slow because this is a slower circuit with the corners. We are keeping on the 9 line nicely, and we are flat out coming through here. We have to slow down a bit. We go wide on this corner, but that gives us a more narrow angle to come in, so it's a bit smoother. And again, we've gone wide, but we can get the power on early and come quicker into this corner, which is what allowed us to overtake Stroll because we had the momentum to just push down the inside. And Max Verstappen has won. I think he started pole. No, he didn't actually. It was Lewis Hamilton that started pole, I think. But Max Verstappen has won the Dutch Grand Prix at his home circuit, may I add. So the crowd probably are going crazy for him right now because he is obviously the home favourite. He is Dutch. If you didn't know, then get to know. And yeah, we are now 2.6 seconds ahead of Esteban Ocon. And getting on the power nice and early, but we have messed up and gone on the gravel. But there is no problem there because Ocon is too far back to do anything. And the gap is now 1.2 seconds. But this is it. The first finish of the season. And the first points finish for Velocity F1. Absolutely brilliant stuff from myself. We didn't gain and we didn't lose anything. Carlos Sainz apparently got driver of the day. Like, I feel like we had a decent race. We made some overtakes. Like, we made 2 overtakes that were really nice on Lance Stroll to keep ahead of him. But those overtakes were out of aggression mainly. But those are not the kind of overtakes I want to be doing. I want to be doing, like, proper overtakes for position instead of just getting positioned back. But yeah, as you can see, the front 3 will come up on your screen in just a second. Max, Albon and Bottas, I think that was, on the front row. Well, on the top steps of the podium. But yeah, Max, Bottas, Albon, Hamilton, Leclerc, Vettel, Perez, Sainz, myself, Ocon, and Mick Schumacher finishes in 21st position. And yeah, Velocity F1 now have 2 points to their name. I have 2 points to my name, which puts me ahead of Ocon and Norris in the championship. And it puts us ahead of AlphaTauri, Haas, Alfa Romeo, and Williams in the Constructors' Championship, guys. But yeah, that is all for this episode. I'd like to say thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next F1 My Team Career Mode.
Amazing pretty happy with that. You really looked in control of your car out here.